Oh, I see. Salutations. If you are comfortable, I shall begin. Over the years, I've seen an awful lot, you know. Many words have soaked into my mortar.
I say when you have lived in the same place all your life, you think it's important to get all these things recorded.
And now, I'm going to tell you about them. Yeah. I'm a true Chichestrian. Stone by stone, for a mile and a half, 1800 years ago, I was born from the plan of the Roman Empire. In my life, I've been put up, pulled down, put up again, added to, shot at, walked on, painted, graffiti, and diddled on. Oh, stop that! Oh, charming. Some of the things I have seen and heard and endured, you wouldn't believe.
Last New Year's Eve was at Brassiere, from the tree just opposite. Don't know quite how it got there. My niece's husband managed to knock it down by throwing stones at it.
That isn't the half of it. As I was saying, I grew up with the Romans. They wanted to protect this town from barbarian raids. They had to fortify with my bastion. Back then, it was fine dining for the whole town.
There's like millions and millions of the, I think they were, oysters. I just found it so fascinating that the shells were still intact, like so long underground.
It was a trick for the Romans.
Novio Magus Reginorum was the name the Romans gave me. Eventually, they were forced out by the stresses and strains of the empire. I got a few stresses and strains of my own. The Romans moved on.
Roman centurion mows the walls behind our house. But this is no ordinary centurion. This has the legs but no head.
Abandoned and alone, I was used as a cemetery for a while, which was lovely.
We had a group of burials in the village Chichester.
I found myself defending the town again. It was hard work in those days, let me tell you. We won that battle. Then, new masters. This time, the Normans.
The walls as we see them now are certainly there's very little of the original stone.
They took my nice stone face away to build their houses, leaving me naked, as you now see me.
As I always used to be amazed by the flint and that sort of how it sort of each flint stone in the walls was completely different to the next one, and like no two were saying like how the sun would reflect on them and the shininess of them.
So it wasn't all bad. Then the Normans built a castle in sight to help me defend the town. In 1100, I watched the cathedral thrive. You can see it from the sea, I hear. Another war, this time with France, and more improvements. Take cover!
The city had put up a really stout resistance during the Civil War. Parliament ordered the walls to be slighted.
That may well be true. To my relief, it was the last time I had to stand in the way of projectiles.
I thought that the escape that was significant because that's where Waller's troops got in.
It feels nice to be able to retire, if I'm honest with you. From the bullets, I mean. Although, the bullets do come back to haunt me on occasion.
The builder was there and he'd actually taken down part of the wall. And as he took it down, a cannonball fell out and landed on his foot.
To my shame, I didn't always help the residents of Chichester. In 1665, my gates were shut to keep plague victims in. Not my father's house. Thankfully, I became a thing of leisure.
I spend a lot of time looking at the walls and walking around the walls, taking photographs. Have done since I was very small. They're very beautiful, very attractive, very old.
Why, thank you.
Of course, we had people wandering along the walls and peering into our gardens and looking through the windows, which we'd never had before.
Quaint little timber frame houses built on me were demolished for the vistas, you know.
A lot of people in Chichester don't realise that the city walls are actually there, despite the fact that they surround the whole centre of the city.
And I began to be forgot about.
There was a tremendous explosion which had taken place just off East Street.
I mean, Gala Day started, I think it was in 1950, the year I was born. Then that's when the ramparts of the walls were absolutely chock full of people watching us, and the day ended with beating the retreat late at night. So it was quite an event, and it was all rather sad when it collapsed.
A bit like me, really. But then, I was renovated to the thing you see before you.
Walls, really, I think, are kind of a part of the fabric of the city.
Remember when the wall collapsed in the Avenue de Chance? You walk all along there, you can look down into the gardens in Orchard Street.
City walls have been part of my life for as long as I can remember. I was actually walked around the walls this morning to revive a few memories.
They should be preserved, they need to be looked after.
I'm not being sort of spooky, but I can see my auntie. She died at 165, she had a large collie dog. It's all around the walls. I think my mind's up there, I see her.
That is pretty spooky, I'm afraid. As you now know, I'm full of ghosts. And will be for years to come.
It almost feels like a living part of the city.
Good night, all. See you around.